So we are beginning tonight the Meretz Hashem on Samech Amud Beis 60b, the top line. Hanichnas lebeis hakisei. Person walks into the bathroom. So what does he say? He's kabdu mechubadim kidosh mishar se el yom. Tunu kavod le'elokei Yisrael harfu mimeni ad she'kanes va'aser retzoni va'avo aleichem. So this is actually very beautiful. The Gemara highlighting this idea that wherever a person goes, he's accompanied by malachim. So a person's walking into the bathroom, he essentially says to the malachim who are accompanying him, wait here, wait here, and wait here in the Meretz Hashem, I'll take care of my needs and then come back to you. Amar Abaye, lo lema im eshachi, a person shouldn't say this. In other words, Abaye is saying a person should never tell his malachim to leave him. Rather, dilma shafki leva azl, because maybe the malachim will leave and they won't come back. Ela lema shemruni izruni, simchuni hamtinuli. Rather, he should say to them like this: guard me, and help me. Help me, wait for me, until I go ahead and I come out from taking care of my needs. Incredible. Kinofik, when a person comes out of the bathroom, the bracha he makes is Baruch Hashem Yatzar Es Ha'adam B'chachma. Blessed are you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who created man with wisdom. Uvaravo Mekavim Chalulim, and he created man with many openings. Galoi Bi'adu Alav Neki Sek Vodecha She'im Pasech Echamem Oyisasem Echamem. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you know that literally, again, if something that is closed opens up, or something that is opened up closes up, ultimately, again, man can't stand before HaKadosh Baruch Hu even before one moment. In other words, this is actually very beautiful. This is bracha of Asher Yatzar. The Gemara says, "My chasim." How does the bracha conclude? Amarav rofei cholim. So Baruch Atah Hashem, Hashem, you are the source of blessing, the healer of the sick. Amar Shmuel, kashavinu abba l'kulei alma katsiri. So again, so Shmuel said Rav is calling Rav Abba. Rav, in other words, you make it sound like everybody is sick. It makes it sound like you have to go to the bathroom, that everybody is sick. Ela rofei kol basar. Rather, again, you should say HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who heals all flesh. Rav Sheish Tamar mafli lasos. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does wondrous things. I would therefore say them both. Rofei kol basar umafli lasos. Hashem is the healer of all flesh and does incredible things. And this, of course, is the bracha of Asher Yatzar. It is a beautiful insight if you think about it, that this bracha of Asher Yatzar, which really highlights just the miraculous nature of the human body and how HaKadosh Baruch Hu allows the body to function normally and successfully. It's very beautiful and overwhelming to think about that this bracha is dafka said when a person uses the bathroom, or finishes using the bathroom, because it's like at that moment when a person takes care of their bodily needs, which on one hand, is like such a simple and base act, yet represents the body's ability to properly work. And if one is unable to do this, literally again, the tsar, the pain, the difficulty that they could experience is so overwhelming. Gemara goes weiter. Hanichnas lishan amitaso. Person goes to sleep. What should he say? So Mishemai Yisrael b'haya'im shama va'omer. So a person should go ahead. So this is now Kriyas Shema alamita over here. So a person should go ahead and say Kriyas Shema, right? Kriyas Shema v'haya'im shama. And then again, now interestingly enough, as part of, according to the Gemara, as part of Kriyas Shema alamita, you're not seeing the last paragraph of Shema. And the reason for that is because the last paragraph of Shema deals with the parasha of Tzitzis, and the parasha of Tzitzis doesn't apply by night. So Gemara says you should also say Baruch Hamapil Chavle Shena Aleinai Usnuma Alaf Apai. Hashem, you are the one who literally again brings sleep upon my eyes and sleep upon my eyelids. Umeir liishon bas ayin, and you illuminate the center of the ayir. Hashem, allow me to go to sleep in peace. Give my portion in Torah, de mitzvah, and allow me to become regular. Allow me to become regular in the performance of mitzvos, and not regular in the performance of averos. It's actually very beautiful if you think about it. The tefillah doesn't say, don't let me sin, because the truth is, it's up to a person to decide whether or not they're going to sin, up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but also quite beautifully, because people sin. We all sin. It's interesting, the Lashon over here is Targilenu. Hashem, don't let me become habituated. Right? Don't let me become accustomed to sinning, and let me become accustomed to doing mitzvahs. That life is all about proper habituation. Life is all about putting oneself like in the right regulus, in the right habitual behavior. It's quite beautiful. The Gemara goes weiter. And Hashem, don't bring me to sin, and don't bring, again, chet and avon are different types of sins. Nisayon, a test. Don't bring me to degradation. B'yishlot b'yetzer tov, b'yishlot b'yetzer hara, and allow the yetzer tov, the good inclination, to rule over me, and not the evil one. V'tatzlinemi pegara mechalaim ra'im, and Hashem, save me Save me from terrible things. And do not allow me to become overcome, literally again by bad dreams or by bad thoughts. Allow my, now literally mitasi means allow my bed, but really over here it's a reference to family. Allow my family to be good. And allow, right, literally illuminate my eyes and don't allow me to die in my sleep. Baruch atah Hashem hameir li'olam kulo bichvodo. So Hashem, you are the source of all blessing, who goes ahead and lights up the world with His greatness. So again, this is the bracha of Kriya Shema Lamita and the bracha of Hamapil. Now granted, the bracha of Hamapil as we have it is slightly different, but the essence is here. I always feel like one of the most beautiful things in these Gemaras is how so many of the brachos that we have, to today, are brachos that find their root, that find their expression in the Gemara. It's really quite beautiful. Ki misar omer, when a person wakes up, he should say the following: Elokai neshama shenasat bi tori. So now it's interesting. So remember, we started with first Kriya Shema Lamita, right? Because the night starts with day. I should say, sorry, just the opposite. The day starts with the night. And now that we did Kriya Shema Lamita, now we're getting into the morning brachas. So, Kimisar, when you wake up in the morning, you should say the following: Elokai neshama shenasat bi tahora. Hashem, the neshama that you gave me is pure. Ata yitzarta bi, ata nefachta bi, ata mishamra bi kirbi. So Hashem, you created it inside of me. Literally, again, nefach means you breathed it into me. Remember, again, this is a reference. Kadosh Baruch Hu created Adam. The pasuk says, "Vayipach ba'apav ruach chaim." Hashem breathed life into Adam Arishon. So literally, like every morning, you breathe life into me. And you make sure that life remains inside of me. And Hashem, eventually, you're going to take my life from me, and you're going to give it back to me in the future. A reference to, well, it could be a reference to either Olam Haba, where there's like eternal spiritual life, or Yemos HaMashiach, Messianic era, where there's Tchias HaMesim. Kol Zman Shanasham B'Kirbi. So as long as my neshama is inside of me, I give praise to you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, my God and the God of my fathers. Yimon kol ha'olamim, Adon kol ha'neshamos, Baruch atah Hashem, ha'machazir neshamos lifgarei mesim. So literally again, master of all the universe, the master of all neshamas, blessed are you, Hashem, or Hashem, you are the source of all blessing, who returns neshamas lifgarei mesim. So lifgarei mesim literally means to dead bodies. Now the idea over here is, the Gemara is going with the motif that sleep is a 60th of death, and therefore when a person wakes up in the morning, it's literally like a rebirth. It's really beautiful. Okay, so the Gemara now goes to the rest of Berachos HaShachar. Kishama kol tarnagola leimo, when a person hears the crowing of the rooster, he says the following bracha: Baruch asher nasan lasech vivina lahavchi mein yom uvein layla. He gives the sechvi. Now, on this, interestingly enough, there's an interesting machlokas about what exactly sechvi means. Does sechvi mean like a rooster, or according to Rashi, sechvi really means the heart, or the heart. The heart. So the idea is that Hashem has given us the ability to distinguish between night and day. The same way the rooster could distinguish between night and day, we have the ability, the intellect, to distinguish between night and day as well. Now, this is a very profound bracha if you think about it, because what the bracha is really saying is like this. So, what does it mean? I have the ability to discern between night and day. Shkoyach. A rooster could do it. If a rooster could do it, I could do it also. But remember, on a deeper level, what this is saying is as follows: night and day is always the metaphorical allusion to good and evil. And one of the most important things in life and in this world is the ability to continuously distinguish between that which is good and that which is bad. And we thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for that ability, for that discerning heart, to be able to know what's good and what's bad. Truly beautiful. The Gemara says, Kipasach, and when you open your eyes, Leima Baruch Pokeach Ivrim. Blessed are you, Hashem, and give sight to the blind. Kitaretz V'yasu Leima, when you straighten up, right, and sit up, you should say, Baruch Matir Asurim. Hashem, you release those who are, literally Asurim means those who are like held captive or restrained. Kilavish, when you get up, when you get dressed. So you say the bracha, Baruch Malbish Arum, Hashem, you clothe the naked. Kizakif, when you stand up straight. Baruch Zokif Kifufim, Hashem, you straighten out those who are crooked. Kinachas La'ara, when you put your feet on the floor. So you say, Baruch Roka Ha'aretz Alamayim, thank you, Hashem, who literally firmed up the earth on the water. Kimaski, when you take a step. Baruch Hamichin Mitzadei Gavra. Again, this is all Berachos HaShachar. So you say, blessed are you, Hashem, who literally again arranges man's footsteps. Kisayim Asane. When you put on your shoes, you should say, Baruch Sha'asali called Sarki. Hashem, you've taken care of everything. A very beautiful Gemara. The idea is over here, shoes are considered to be everything. The Gemara says that the most humiliating thing for a person is not to have shoes. So therefore, if a person has shoes, he has everything. Ki Aser Hemenei Lema. When you put on your belt, you should say, Baruch Ozer Isa B'Gvura. Hashem literally again gives Klal Yisrael strength. When you put a cloth on top of your head. So remember again, this was the derech. So this is the derech to cover your head, right? You put on yarmulke, right? You cover your head. Baruch Oter Yisab Sifara. Blessed are you, Hashem, who literally again crowns Klal Yisrael with glory. Kimisate b'tzitzis lema. When you put on your tzitzis, Baruch Asher Kiddusham V'Sasav V'Tzivan Lis Atif Batzitzis. Okay, blessed are you, Hashem. He's commanded us in His mitzvahs to wrap Himself in tzitzis. Ki marach tefillin adrei lema. The person puts tefillin. This is the shalyad. What does he say? Baruch Asher Kiddusham V'Sasav V'Tzivan Laniach tefillin. Arei shalimar Baruch Asher Kiddusham V'Sasav V'Tzivan Amitzvas tefillin. So again, all of these brachas. Now, so much more to say in all of this from a halachic perspective. But we'll just focus over here, just learning Gemara. So a person puts on his sharo. She says laniach tefillin. Person puts on his shalyat. He says al mitzvas tefillin. Ki mashe yadeh, when you wash your hands, Baruch Asher Kiddusham V'Sasav V'Tzivanu al netilas yodayim. So again, remember, just want to point out, obviously, this Gemara is going a little bit out of order over here because you just had tefillin before netilas yadayim. But you understand the point. Ki mashe ape lema Baruch hama aver chavle shein ameinai usnuma me'afapai. When you wash your face, and the idea over here is when you wash your face, right, you remove any of the schmutz or any of the stuff that's accumulated over the night, and you say, Hashem, you are the source of all blessing, who literally again removes sleep from my eyes and sleep from my eyelids. And then again, here's the Yiratzon. Yiratzon l'fanecha Hashem Elokai shetagilinu b'sarasecha v'dabkini b'mitzvosecha. Hashem, it should be your will. It should be your will that you should habituate me in Torah, and I should cling to your mitzvahs. And Hashem, don't allow me to come to sin. Again, chet is an accidental sin, avon is an intentional sin. Don't bring me to be tested, and don't bring me to degradation. And literally force my yetzer, force my desires, force my inclination to serve you. Distance me from a bad person, from a bad friend. And literally attach me to the Yetzer Tov and to a good friend in this world. And literally again, give me today chen. Give me today a sense of chen. In the right, for a sense of chen. Chen is a hard word to translate. You know, the person has a chen. Allow me to have a chen in this world. Chesed, compassion, rachamim, beinecha in your eyes and in the eyes of all those who see me. B'sigmaleni chasodim tovim. Hashem, do chesed with me. Baruch atah Hashem, gomel chasodim tovim li'amo Yisrael. So beautiful. Blessed are you, Hashem, who literally again bestows chesed, chasodim, acts of kindness upon Klal Yisrael. So we'll say, so really beautiful Gemara, and once again, what's really profound about it is how it speaks to quite literally our experience every single morning. What I want to point out to you is something very interesting, which is the way the Gemara frames these brachos is that they are what we'll call experientially triggered. What do I mean by that? That when the event happens, you make the bracha. So we know contemporarily the halacha says that we pretty much say this we say this at once in shul. So in other words, rarely do we go ahead and say these brachas as they're actively unfolding in the morning. Rather, we say them as part of davening when we get to shul. Okay, but it's interesting to see like the genesis, the origin of it is that they were triggered experientially. Okay, beautiful. So we'll say, so the Gemara goes weiter. So the Gemara says, Chayv Adam Levarech, according from the Mishnah. So the Mishnah says, remember, the same way that a person is obligated to bless HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the bad, he's also obligated to bless HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the good. So, my Chayv Levarech al Ra Kishin Levarech al Tov. What does that mean? That you're obligated to bless HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the bad in the same way that you're obligated to bless him for the good. Ilema, Kishin Levarech al Tov HaTov HaMeitiv, Kach Mevarech al Hara HaTov HaMeitiv. So maybe you'll say that halacha l'maisa, the same way that you make the bracha of hatov v'hameitiv on something good, so too you should go ahead and. I'm sorry. So if you say that the same way that you make the bracha of hatov v'hameitiv on something good, you should make hatov v'hameitiv on something bad. That can't be. So that's not true, because again we see the Gemara tells us that there's two different brachas, right? For good things you make hatov v'hameitiv, and for bad things you make a dayan ha'emes. Amarava, no. So what does it mean that you have to make a bracha on the bad in the same way you make a bracha on the good? El lo nitzcha elo lekablunhu b'simcha. So Rav says, what does it mean? It means you have to be makabla with simcha. The same way when good things happen, you accept those new realities b'simcha. So too, when bad things happen, a person has to accept that b'simcha as well. An overwhelming idea, a really overwhelming idea. The ability to accept that which HaKadosh Baruch Hu does b'simcha, even if it hurts. Amar Rabbi Achamushun Rabbi Levi. Maikra. What's the pasuk? In other words, where does this theologically? Where does this concept come from? So the Gemara says, "Chesed u'mishpat ashir lecha Hashem azameira." So the Gemara is like this. Now, literally translated, "Chesed u'mishpat ashir lecha Hashem azameira." So for chesed, right? Chesed is kindness. Mishpat is justice. I will sing to you. I will sing to you, Hashem, and I will praise you. So the Gemara says, "Im chesed ashira ve'im mishpat ashira." So the darshanit is Hashem. If you do chesed for me, meaning if you do good things for me, you bestow good things upon me, I'll sing for you, right? And im mishpat, and if you do difficult things for me, then ultimately again ashira, I'll sing. We'll say such an amazing drasha. Chesed mishpat ashira. Hashem, whatever you do to me in life, good things, difficult things, whatever it is, I'm going to sing to you. Rabbi Shmuel Silber said from here, B'Hashem ahalel davar, Be'elokim ahalel davar. So literally again, so literally, B'Hashem, in Hashem, ahalel davar. I will praise Hashem with words. Be'elokim ahalel davar. So the Gemara says, what does this mean? So the Gemara says, B'Hashem ahalel davar, zumi datova. Be'elokim ahalel davar, zumidas paranos. So this is very interesting. So remember again, there's two different names of Hashem that are being used over here. Hashem and Elokim. Hashem is Yud Kei Vav Kei. And Elokim, was there between those two names, that Yud Kei Vav Kei represents the midah of chesed, and Elokim represents the midah of din. So what I'm saying is, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whether you deal with me as Hashem, with chesed, or you deal with me as Elokim, with din, either way, I'm going to sing to you. So beautiful. Rabbi Tanchum says from here, Kos Yeshuos Esa Ub'Shem Hashem Ekra. So literally again, I'll lift up a cup of salvation and call out to Hashem. Tzara v'yagon emsa Ub'Shem Hashem Ekra. So even if I find myself in the midst of sadness and loss, I'll call out to you. So in other words, no matter what, whether it's Kos Yeshuos, whether I have the cup of salvation, or whether I have Tzara v'yagon, so whether things are good or things are difficult, either way, B'Shem Hashem Ekra. Ultimately, again, I'm going to call out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Rabbanan say from here, Hashem Nasan, Hashem Lakach, Yihi Shem Hashem Avorach. Hashem has given, Hashem has taken, the name of Hashem shall be blessed. So we'll say very, very theologically powerful Gemara. That at the end of the day, no matter what HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you in life, a person has to recognize that some way, somehow, it's for my best and it's for my benefit, and I have to find the strength to be able to give thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for those events that occur. A very, very high level, but one that is necessary in order to be able to weather the difficulties and challenges of life. So that's part of the daf. Amrav Huna, Amrav Bishum Rabbi Meir. V'cheintana mishmei Rabbi Akiva. The olam yehi adam raga lomar, kol da'avid rachman al tav. So the Gemara says something beautiful. The Gemara says a person should always go ahead and be habituated, right? Be used to saying everything that Hashem does ultimately, again, is for the good. And here I will say the Gemara is going to be the last part we'll do for tonight. The Gemara tells an incredible story. So the Gemara says, let me give you a story. Rabbi Akiva was one time traveling. So what happened? So the Gemara says, Mata lahi masa. So he came to a particular town. He looked for an inn to check into, but no one would give him any lodging. Okay, he said, no, whatever is best, whatever Chash Baruch Hu does is for the best. So what did he do? He literally could not find an inn to stay in, so he went to sleep in the field. Now the Gemara says, Rabbi Akiva had the following things. He had a rooster, a donkey, and a lantern. Also, so wind came and extinguished the lantern. Also, shonra achli l'tarnagola, a cat came and ate the rooster like chagaja. Also, arye achli l'chamra, and a lion came and ate the donkey. So now Rabbi Akiva has no place to stay. He's sleeping in the field. He has no fire. He has no rooster, and he has no donkey. So what happened? Amr called the Avid Nachman al-Tav Avid. Ultimately, whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu does is for the best. So the Gemara says, what happened? Incredible. So the Gemara says, Be balayla asa gaya sa shavi lamasa. That night, so a group of armed soldiers came in and they captured the city. Amr Lahu. So what happened? In other words, everybody there was taken captive. So Rabbi Akiva was spared. Now here's what's incredible. So why was Rabbi Akiva spared? So now she points out that Rabbi Akiva was spared because, again, his lantern was blown out, so no one saw him. No one was able to discern he was in the field. His rooster was killed, so the rooster wasn't able to crow. The donkey couldn't break because the donkey was killed as well. So what looked like a dramatically staggering loss for Rabbi Akiva, in fact, turned out to be a tremendous source of bracha, turned out to be the source of his salvation. So that he thought was like tremendous loss was actually the source of his salvation. Amar lahu, Rabbi Akiva said, Lav amri lahu, kol mash osa HaKadosh Baruch Hu hakol letova. This is what I always say, Rabbi Akiva is right, this is what I always say, that whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu does, hakol letova. Ultimately, again, everything is for the good. And I will say this gives birth to this phrase, kol man David Rachmana letava. This is Rabbi Akiva. So whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu does, ultimately, again, is always for the good. And again, obviously, it's always easy to internalize that concept when things are good and life is good. But the avodah of the Yid is to be able to believe that even when things occur, that hurts. All right, we'll have to stop over here for today. Tremendous shkoyach. Looking forward to continuing tomorrow night.